quick. Figured I'd pop in, at least tell everybody what I'm doing. It's our developer, my brother-in-law, scans. It was his 50th birthday yesterday, so I'm going to grab a drink with him in a little bit, and so I'm playing the 2-game slate in both NBA, DraftKings, and FanDuel, and I'm also doing the hockey slate tonight, as I kind of described earlier. Just a big prize pool, because that's what DraftKings usually does when there's a small NBA slate. They run something like that. What's up, Bobby?
Hey, what's up, man?
So yeah, I figured we'd just give a kind of a summary of kind of what we're up to. I mean, I didn't see any news come in really. I did see that Peyton is probable, right?
Yeah, Peyton's probable. Iguodala's questionable now.
I really hope he plays, because I'm Xing him out.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think that he's going to get that much playing anyway. Like, it's the 10:00 game anyway, so don't really know that it's going to make a massive amount of difference in any way, to be honest. There's something. There could be a bump to Damian Lee or something, but there's 12 guys. It's a little hard. So Beverly is going to be the mega chalk. No one's going to play. I still think no one's playing Vanderbilt. I think that some people will play Edwards and Russell, but I don't think a ton. I think it's going to be like less than 15% ownership on a 2-game slate. That's pretty awesome. I do think Cat will be popular now. I think that, Cade and Sadiq Bey and Trey Lyles and Josh Jackson will be extremely popular. I'm just trying to find a way to get different in a couple spots. Steph should be really popular. Wiggins is going to be probably in the low 20% owned. It's okay. I think I would take a shot with Jordan Poole here. And I like the Clay idea, but unfortunately Clay looks like he's going to be chalk also. So I don't know, outside of the guys we talked about earlier, what's really changing. I still like the idea of trying to play 2 of the non-Beverly, even along with Beverly. From the Minnesota side, Randall obviously Randall and RJ Barrett and Burks those will be the highest owned players. But actually, I don't know if that's right, because with Kemba warming up with and now a game time decision, it's really interesting to know what they might do here. So we really can't really decide on that until we know. Fortunately, it's the first game, so we should know. But it's a little bit of a tough way. It's a little tough to figure it out.
So I'll tell you what I did. First of all, I'll tell you what play I like that you talked about earlier. Is I like the Isaiah Stewart play. Again, not that anybody's going to be like 5% owned or anything like that, but I do think that with Lyles being really chalky, I think
he might be 5% owned.
What?
Isaiah Stewart might legitimately be 5% owned.
Well, I like that. And the other thing that I did exactly what I said I was going to do. I loaded up my stuff. I X'd out, and then I ran stuff. Then I X'd out Iguodala. I X'd out Looney. And then just for funsies, I X'd out Trey Lyles. And just kind of live with what I got. And, so there's nobody that's coming up that's like 5% owned, but you get like a bunch of 18, 19s. Instead of like the Lyles thing, which is probably going to be more popular. So I am getting like a full 40% Vanderbilt. Maybe that helps. And I guess that's where I'm the most over, unless you consider 33% Isaiah Stewart significantly over. But then again, I have Isaiah Stewart in the biggest buy-in. So that makes all the difference, actually.
I like the Isaiah Stewart play, and I like Killian Hayes.
I got that too, yeah.
And he's not I don't understand it. Like, so his last 3 games, he's been 25, 25, 22, pretty much going to get run even if they get blown out. Like, at least he'll get 25, 26 minutes, and he has upside for more on those minutes. So I think that he's actually like another one of these cheap guys that is going to get overlooked. Now, unfortunately, he's going to get overlooked until Iguodala is out or something like that. And then it opens up a spot for somebody to play him. So he's going to end up higher owned than he's projecting, but he's still going to be lower owned, at least as of right now. I think that you could take a gamble on Fournier. The problem is with this Kemba news, we really can't do anything until we know a Knicks starting lineup and what Kemba's situation is. And that may not be till like 10 minutes before lock. So that's what I'm sort of waiting on right now. But I'm happy to answer any questions. What I'm doing is, like I said, I'm doing two of the non Beverly Minnesotas. You know, whether it's Russell and Vanderbilt, any combination of the Russell, Vanderbilt, Towns. I want some exposure to that. I also think Malik Beasley is a long shot play that could pay off. I don't love it, but I considered it. And I'm also going to. I do like the Mitch Rob. I don't think that's going to be off the board, but I do like it. In the Detroit side of things, I like Cade, and I'm playing him on FanDuel, but I actually found it pretty easy to justify fading him here. And at his ownership, if I just play the other guys on the Minnesota side who are going to be significantly lower owned for reasons I can't figure out. I mean, just game log instead of don't game log, just game log watch for a minute. Cade's actually been playing really well, but when Hayes plays, he doesn't the assist rate's down. He had the 150 game, but surrounding those games, he's put up 35, 33, 27, 24, 21, 35, and 30. And you just look at Russell and Edwards. Sometimes you can actually get some information from the game log watching, and at basically the same price on DraftKings. There's absolutely no reason why he should be 4 times the ownership of those guys, which is what I've got him at right now. Are you showing up him? Are you showing Cade to be pretty popular?
40%.
Yeah, and where do you have Russell and Edwards, if you don't mind?
Russell like 20.
Yeah,
and Edwards like 17.
Okay, yeah. So I mean, even still, like, look, that's a plenty of
all like you predicted. All these Minnesota guys are much lower owned.
Yeah, and it's very strange because just look at the game log. I mean, sometimes you have to. I don't know why their projections are in the low 30s. I think that the projections, like, are they just broken across the industry? Like, these guys average like right around 40. Why are they low 30s tonight? Especially if Kemba plays. I really can't figure it out. It's just
especially if plays?
If Kemba plays, I mean, it just makes their defense weaker is all I'm saying for the Knicks.
Well, don't forget also Kemba. It does say that even if he plays, he's going to be under minutes limit.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to affect things that much. It's going to destroy all the Knicks.
Yeah,
I mean, when he plays and he takes up all the usage from these guys, like, so for them to be so much more popular, I would just rather take my shots with the Minnesota side of things. That's just the way that I like to approach these two gamers. And, we've gotten into some weird plays. I think even Gary Payton has a long shot play if he does start. It's hard to know with the Warriors, too, because they do run out different starting lineups. But I don't care what's happening with Poole. It does seem like a perfect matchup to take a shot on a guy like Poole. Again, you don't need to play all these guys together. But I do think that, making sure to get some Poole and some Porter and at, less than sub 10% ownership if you're playing multiple lineups. But if I'm playing just a couple lineups, I am going to do the double Minnesota thing. Between the Russell Vanderbilt or Edwards Vanderbilt, Edwards Town, Russell Towns, that's going to be the lower combination of guys who can go out there with the 2 highest scores of the night, and they can do it in the same game.
How much you got any of the Cucamonga?
It just depends on what happens with Golden State's lineup.
Okay,
but I do like him. He's going to be popular.
Yeah, I mean, again, I'm going to. I think I'll just be able to have enough time to check it out and swap. I told you it's Evan. It's his 50th birthday yesterday, so I'm taking him out for a drink.
Oh, awesome! Oh, happy birthday to Evan! I'm sorry I didn't know that.
Yeah, and
he told me that on the Sunday show. I just forgot. It just was one of those days. Cool.
What happened with him, by the way? Did he almost cash? Is that what happened yesterday or Monday?
Yeah, he thought he was going to, but the problem was we told him on the show, don't play Jimmy G, and he wanted to play it because the projections were showing it up, and I was just saying that it was a very, very tough road in the playoffs when San Francisco is going to just try to run the ball every time.
Yeah.
But I mean, if Dallas got the lead and they were throwing to come back later, maybe it would have paid off.
Right.
But all the other stuff was good.
Okay.
But yeah, not a whole bunch of your guys. Any sports bets? That's a good question. I do have a couple bets that I like. I don't actually know, to be honest with you. I don't really like them. But my personal bets that I put out there, because I always put out something, is I still think Golden State is going to cover. It's just really hard in basketball because you could be up 30 in the fourth with your backup squad, and they give up 18. And whatever, they end up winning by 14 instead of 15. It's just that's definitely on the table. So it feels kind of bad to make that bet. I think Minnesota and the Knicks, I do like this for Minnesota, but I don't like it enough to where I would want to really bet it. In terms of props, I would bet these Minnesota guys like overs on most of where their numbers are. Russell's points, Edwards points. The problem is it's hard for all of them to get there, but I do like them, and I think that if you and Towns points and rebounds, like I think if you bet, you're going to win like 4 out of 6 of those bets, in my opinion. I really do believe that. Yeah, and
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have much of an opinion on the on the NBA games tonight. But as you might imagine, I do have a very, I mean, you can imagine this. I have a pretty strong opinion on the football games.
already it's Tuesday.
What do you mean? The odds are what they are. They're not changing.
Okay, we can talk about it. We have time. Let's do it.
Well, I mean, I can't imagine a world where Kansas City at home is only 2.5 points over anybody. So
Now it's 2.
So Buffalo has to be a lock. So I like Buffalo.
Buffalo's not winning that game.
And then you have Tampa only 3 over the Rams. That's got to be a joke. So I like the Rams.
I actually think that's way too high.
Okay. So I'm misreading that. Okay, so that's not.
Yeah, if it was even, I would take the Rams. I love the Rams.
Oh, okay. So far Buffalo is just kind of like a stone lock. At Tennessee,
I feel
these are my opinions, right? So Tennessee, Cincinnati. Actually, I don't really have much of an opinion there. And Green Bay, San Francisco, I don't have much of an opinion there. So it's just for me, it's just Buffalo plus the 2 or the 2.5 over Kansas City. I know I have no idea how they're possibly going to win, but I just, you know what I mean? I've just been around the block.
I like every underdog to actually outright win, except for Buffalo. I like KC in that game.
Okay.
But I mean, it's like there's all this stuff about how Buffalo and they could match up with KC. Well, show it. Like they get rolled by them every freaking time.
They sure
and
do.
I would like to see them actually, like, I don't know. It should be, obviously that's where all the ownership's going to be for the weekend games, right? Like everybody's going to play that one. And it's going to be hard not to.
Especially if the weather's good.
Yep. So I really like that.
Is it going to get snowy in Green Bay or no?
Is it getting? I think I don't know, actually. I haven't looked at the weather yet for Green Bay, but it doesn't matter. The Niners actually match up so well with them, and the way they run the ball, like I don't think that bad weather is going to affect them much.
So I do have, by the way, a lot of Sklansky bucks in my pocket right now, because for those of you that don't remember, in week 16 on Christmas, when Tennessee was tied with San Francisco and had the ball in overtime, and they were marching the ball down the field, and it was kind of clear that Tennessee was going to win the game, I went and I got Tennessee at that point plus 22-1 to win the Super Bowl. And so since then, they locked up the number 1 seed. They get a bye. Maybe Derrick Henry is back, and the Slanty Bucks is because now they're 8.5 to 1. So I got
you. Go ahead. Sorry.
So I got my value. I don't know if they're actually going to win, but I got my value.
Yeah. I mean, it's very strange because all of my teams, I bet on the problem is the 2 of them can't play each other. I had the Rams, Tampa Bay being I tweeted all this out. I can go back and get it even. Like I had the Rams and Tampa Bay as being the teams in the conference championship in the NFC, and I had KC beating Tennessee in the AFC.
You think Derrick Henry's going to play?
I think so. And no matter what, you know what? It could be one of those things though where he's in, but he's not like fully in. They just sort of use him as a decoy for a few plays or do something. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean he's got to like run every time. I mean, if he plays though, like he's going to project to be the best scoring player on the slate of any kind, I'd imagine, except for maybe it's also like that's the weird thing about that Tennessee. I will say early that Tennessee-Cincinnati game, I would get money. Like I would be betting on that on the 4-game slate because I think you can run the ball on Cincinnati and I think you can throw the ball on Tennessee.
I agree with that.
So I really like both of those the way that game sets up.
Dude, I know better than anybody. I had a 21-0 lead with Tennessee and Survivor over freaking Houston. Davis Mills shredded them the whole second half.
Yeah, that's right.
Right?
And that was like a must-win. I mean, not a must-win.
Yeah.
It was win for them.
I mean, that was such a big game for them because, I mean, remember, like they more than any other team would benefit from that bye because of Derrick Henry.
Yeah. Yeah, says Tennessee going to stop the. Maybe they will. Maybe Tennessee does stomp them. I don't particularly like. I mean, look, Tennessee is the team that every week they have overperformed all year, and there's nothing saying that they should stop. But I will go. I mean, I don't know. I'm on the Cincinnati side of that one a little bit.
I will say this: don't underestimate the power of that bye in the playoffs. To go into a team that's rested like that, especially this late in the year, where that kind of rest really matters, is it's a tough task. And playing on the road in the NFL and in playoffs in general is a tough task. You have extra crowd noise, extra everything. So, but you know what? Joe Burrow has been freaking answering the freaking question all freaking season, and him and Jamar Chase, they're like legit like top A1 battery now, like it's Tennessee's gonna have their hands full trying to stop them.
No, I mean, they obviously have their connection. It goes back to LSU, and it's gonna. But I mean, the thing is, like with tennis, with the way that Burrow plays, and he gets hit so much. It's the one thing that worries me about him. Like for his career, he gets hit all the time because he will hold on to the ball. And the funny part is, he's good at getting it out quick, but he'll also hold on to it if he's got any sort of scrambling plays and literally just take the hits, take the abuse.
Right. Yep.
And it's going to open things up. I think this is going to be the T. Higgins, not the Jamar Chase week. But that's just my first initial read, because I do think they'll pay a lot of attention to Chase. They've watched him just torture every other team in football. I can't imagine you don't at least throw some his way. Nope. But it should be a fun weekend. I mean, these are great games, and I think it's kind of funny that Aaron Rodgers is playing against the team that he's likely going to quarterback next year. Is
that the rumor? Yeah.
That's my rumor. I mean, it was a hot take for a while. I mean, he's a NorCal. He went to Cal.
Yeah.
He also, it makes sense. He wanted to be on the West Coast. The Rams obviously don't need a quarterback. The Chargers don't need a quarterback. The Raiders you could argue for, but San Francisco needs a quarterback.
He's not going to the Raiders.
Why do you say that so confident? I don't think so either. But like, why?
He's gonna go. So he wants to go somewhere where he has, some weapons. You know what I mean? He's not gonna go just so he can throw the ball to freaking Hunter Renfrow. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah. I mean,
you give him Samuel, Ayuk, like you're saying, and Kittle, he'll have a freaking field day.
Oh, I mean, can you imagine if Aaron Rodgers was the quarterback of that team right now? It's unbelievable.
You gotta be ridiculous. Give him that running game and protect the. You know what I mean?
It's nuts. But he may not like the Shanahan thing, though. Might get to him though. He might not like how much Shanahan loves to run the ball.
If they lose if they don't win the Super Bowl this year, he'll be very happy to.
That's probably true.
Yeah.
I know he's playing for legacy. He's like him and Mahomes they're the only two guys with any sort of a chance to they're not going to outdo Brady, but they're going to, there's still a path where they could be considered the greatest ever, right? Even though it's very small for Rodgers. I don't think it's small for Mahomes. I think Mahomes.
I don't think it's that small for Rodgers either. Rodgers, he's
he'd have to get to at least 4 Super Bowls, I think.
I guess so.
I think he'd have to win 4. And I think that Mahomes has a great chance to win 4. He's 1 for 2.
They got to get a little D going.
It's been pretty good. It's been pretty good.
Yeah,
it's a little better than people give it credit for, I think. But I mean, it's hard to judge against a season.
This is going to be, you know what? This is going to be a great game. It's going to be a great game this week. The Kansas City Buffalo game. It's going to answer a lot of questions.
Yeah, we had the same thing happen last year, and it was Buffalo was the trendy. Everybody loves Buffalo pick. Oh, St. Casey doesn't have their offensive line, and then just throttle.
Yep.
But maybe they learned something, and I was really impressed with how easily Josh. I mean, that was one of the best offensive performances you could have in a playoff game.
Well, I texted you. That was the first time ever. There was a perfect offensive game.
Yep. Against Belichick of all people.
Yeah. No punts, no field goals. Every single possession ended with a touchdown until they kneeled down at the end of the game.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. It's pretty wild. I mean, he was unbelievable in that game, and they're loaded too, man. They're deep and they're talented. It's kind of a shame in a way. I think that they're two of the two best teams in the AFC, in my opinion, and they're playing a little early. I think the Rams and Tampa Bay have a similar thing. Although the Packers earned it, but
KC had the path though. They lost to Cincy. Yeah. And that was you know what, that could be a sign. I mean, Cincy isn't as good as Kansas City, but they're in on the path. Let's put it that way.
Yep. This is what happens on an NBA slate that's 2 games and they're 2.5 hours apart between games. There's nothing really to talk about.
No, it's fine. You know what? This is a lot more fun for me than getting 75 pieces of news, having to update projections for the next half an hour. Honestly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So.
it's not exciting, but it certainly is more enjoyable.
Oh.
I like this. It is weird. I'm just gonna guess that the ownership projections I'm looking at are just way off because they're just way. I don't know. I can't see.
I'll tell you who I think you might be wrong about. Not wrong about. I still think that what's his name is going to drop off the Clay.
Why though?
I don't know. Just because people are going to play other guys before. I don't know.
Maybe it's possible. What do you have Clay probably around 25-30%?
I have about 20. No, actually, about 20. Maybe
I'll take him at 20. Right. This is a good game for him to have the 24 minutes and like 30 real life points.
Beverly's a different position, but he's the same price. I'm trying to think of some reason why they wouldn't. Fournier Fournier. They won't play Fournier like that. I don't know. You don't think Fournier can get as much ownership as Clay?
No.
Okay, probably right.
Especially
Otto Porter 5,800.
Yeah, see, when you say these names, it sounds very much like
I know. I know.
It's really funny.
Maybe Trey Lyles takes up forward stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I'll have to see. Now, what would be interesting, again, is I'm sure it's out there, especially with only 2 games slate, should be able to tell from the ownership of the first game what the ownerships of the second games are. Now I know that people can change, whatever, but you should be able to derive what the ownership of these guys are going to be based on the ownership of the first game.
Yep. I agree with that. And
Kemba is starting, Nicholas is saying? I
don't have it official yet. They said it was a game time decision because he was going to go through warm-ups. It's a little too early for warm-ups. So you have that, but he always gets it right. Like, is that official? Do we have that officially, Dunbar? Like, is it from like an NBA source or just a guy saying it? I'm just curious. I still, I mean, like when they say he's going to warm up with the intention of playing, obviously you assume that he's probably playing.
I don't see it. Yesterday, I don't have anything yet, honestly.
I would look at NBA. I don't. Okay, there we go. It looks like it's official.
Okay. Our man's on it.
Yeah.
So now maybe you get lower ownership on Burks and Quickly?
Yeah.
And for good reason. It's like
I'm trying to think about what to do.
Well, I'm not playing Kemba. I'm not doing that.
So Burks will come off the bench and go from being mega owned to not unowned.
And still get his 40.
He still might.
Does Minnesota still give up a lot of fantasy points?
Mm-hmm. They're a little better, but yeah. So they didn't announce what the minutes limit was on him.
Yeah, they're gonna say he's under a minutes limit. They'll have play 36.
Yeah, we had that Sheets that one night with Toronto. That infuriated me because I made the comment on air, like, I said, yeah, right. These guys are on minutes limits. They all played like 44 minutes in a 48-minute.
Well, that's the limit. That's the limit.
Don't do that anymore. But I feel like there should be some penalty. Like, and
that's right.
But it's funny how DFS slants your brain because, like, the other night, like, I played James Johnson and Blake Griffin, like, on fan. I actually cashed deep in that.
Or just don't say anything.
Right. Exactly. You'd be better off with no.
Just say Kemba Walker is active. He's in the starting lineup. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. But the other night's one was the people in chat were like, "What the hell's the matter? Nash is an idiot." Look at this. I was like, "Look, Nash took those guys out because they were minus 14 in 6 minutes, and then without them, they were plus 12.
Yeah.
In the next 6 minutes, you know what I mean?
What are you gonna
do?
Like,
this is not. Bad coaching does not have anything to do with fantasy-related points. It's like when people were complaining last year, and Thibodeau did in my opinion, one of the all-time great coaching jobs last year. Like, I mean, for a team that barely makes, for a team that's not a great team, obviously.
Right.
But he did an incredible job, and everybody was complaining all year. Tibbs doesn't know what he's doing. He doesn't play quickly enough. And I'm like, what the hell? This team was supposed to win like 24 games last year, and they were the 4 seed in the East or the 5 seed in the East. Like,
People knew exactly, but it's ridiculous. If everybody knows what Tibbs is, why is anybody complaining? You know what I mean? They know that he plays his starters 100 minutes, and that's the way it's going to be.
Yep. Although he changed it up this year because they were
because they ran out of freaking gas last year.
yeah. But yeah, I don't know. This Kemba news is interesting. I am going to just sit here for another few minutes, and I want to see how it changes on the projections because it's going to change pretty drastically. I just want to see.
I don't know. I think maybe Kemba loses. I mean, not Kemba. Like Burks maybe loses a point. I don't know.
No, but Burks will lose I think he'll lose 15 fantasy points.
Okay.
I genuinely believe that. I'm not saying that as a speculation. I really believe that he will. He might only play 20 minutes now. Like when Kemba started, he's played the minutes. That's what's hard to figure out. And he was playing with Burks before, but they also didn't have. Well, Barrett wasn't there for a good portion of that.
Right.
They have a lot of guards healthy. I would just try to steer a little bit clearer of some of these Knicks. Probably even including Randall, although he's my favorite next. Well, he and Barrett are my favorites, but I mean, Barrett is going to be 80% owned and at 7,300, and that just feels weird.
Yeah, it sure does, huh?
Never happened. He's had a great couple weeks. He's especially great at home, but I don't know, man. Feels a little much. I definitely am not. If I play 3 big lineups, which I think is what I'm going to do, I definitely won't have Barrett in all 3. But I'm deciding if I only want to have him in 1 or not. Especially now. I think I do.
What if we just X out all those Knicks guards?
That's fine with me.
Then you end up playing 7 Pistons with or something like that.
Hey, there's probably nothing wrong. I mean, think about this. So Andre Iguodala is 3,300. So there is a price difference. Killian Hayes is 3,800. Andre Iguodala has 120 fantasy point game in his last 15, 20 games. You got what's his name, who's done it 3 times in a row, Killian Hayes, and there's probably upside for that on Hayes. It's really weird to me how people are and also their projection is almost identical. It's just, I don't know. To me, it's flawed. You know what? That's not true. Iguodala had 3 games of 20 plus fantasy points, but they had a lot less bodies than they do now in the last 3 weeks or whatever. I don't know.
Get rid of Barrett. Get rid of all those guys. That'd be so brutal if you can actually get away with it.
I mean,
you have any Jalen Noel?
I think he's mildly interesting.
Yeah, I got some.
It's hard for me to see how he gets minutes, outside of backing up Russell, because you look at their between Cat, Edwards, Russell, Vanderbilt, and Beverly. Those guys are going to be on the court at the end of the game, to start the game. Throughout they're going to be 30 plus minutes on all those guys except for maybe Vanderbilt because he's less than 30. Then you've got Beasley, and Reed and McDaniels are definitely going to play minutes. So Noel, where do the minutes come from unless he gets really hot? That's the only way I could figure it out it happening. Of course, or an injury or something like that, which can't really bet on, obviously.
That'd be cool if I could just X out all those Knicks guards.
I love how everyone was a Monday morning quarterback and thought, yeah, it was so obvious the McKinnon play. Why didn't we all play McKinnon? And I'm like, oh, so you knew Darrell Williams would go out there and fumble the first play for a touchdown. You know what I mean? You guys knew all that. It's
really was that why he ended up getting? I didn't even know.
He didn't get to touch the ball after that again. He didn't play one snap, I don't think.
And I'll tell you something else. No one has a right to complain because Andy Reid does this every single time.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it worked.
What was Derek Gore week? Remember that?
Yep.
Everybody was 100% sure that what's his name was going to be whatever, and Derek Gore got all the work.
Yep, 100%.
So I'm not saying that it's right, wrong, or whatever, but the fact is that it's the modus operandi. You're just not allowed to be surprised.
That's how I agree with that too. Even though it would have been really nice to have him. I mean, it's pretty incredible what a guy.
It was.
Far. What?
It would have been very nice to have him. That is
yeah.
Correct.
It's
not like he was 2% owned either. I mean, people played him.
He was 3% in the 333.
Oh, was he? Oh, I thought he was 15 or something. Okay.
No. And that was on the 4-day. I think he was 0.5%.
Oh, okay.
And he was the highest scoring running back. Like it was pretty wild. When
Was
you
he
go
the
back.
highest scoring running back?
Yeah.
Wait, what just happened?
Singletary and him were close, actually. All right. So I don't think we have a whole lot more to cover basketball wise. I do. So they're starting Kemba. It's a big knockdown for every other Knicks player for me. The one who doesn't necessarily need to change his role, who's also going to be low owned anyway, could be Fournier.
You think so?
But that was just a long shot play anyway, you know? And again, we still don't have their starting lineup. We just have that he's starting.
What if is it possible they start Burks anyway?
Yeah, it's possible. I don't know who I mean, to start him over Fournier seems like it would be a little bit out of character for them. Boy, it's a shame everybody got onto Mitch Rob. I really liked that play. I was hoping that the early projections would hold up a little bit. Oh, we did our golf video, guys. Check out the golf video.
Yeah.
I like this week for golf. I actually built out a bunch of shell lineups and I posted them on the site. So check those out. I also bet on I did 4. I didn't actually make the bets yet, but I have 4 of my golf bets.
Oh yeah.
But some of them are not exciting. Like Rom to win. It's not a very exciting one. Connor's the top 5. I think I had a top 20 for. Who did I put as top 20? That was like that was off the board. Noren. No, Noren I had top 10. And I believe I put, I don't remember who it was off the top of my head. Oh, Answer I also had top 10, I believe. And then, yeah, I got to relook at some point. Cheats, I can go whenever you're ready to go. So I still like Minnesota to cover. Yeah, I like it, but I don't love these bets. I'm just going to be honest with you. I think this is not. I don't feel great about either one of them. I kind of like them better actually with Kemba playing. Kemba is a negative player in real basketball. He doesn't help them. He helped them when he was going nuts, but that was because he has to like go nuts for him to be of great use. You know, he put up some games, but they were losing like all of those games. It's like Cam Reddish. Everybody thinks Cam Reddish is so great, and I like Cam Reddish's upside. I would have absolutely made that move if I was the Knicks. But Cam Reddish is out of all the players in the NBA, he is the worst on-off player of any player in the league, and he's been in the bottom 10% all the 3 of the years he's played. So, and by the way, who was second to last, Sheets?
Who?
Kevin Knox.
Oh my God.
One of the two worst on-off guys get traded for each other, and it was pretty funny. All right, I'm gonna hold out my decision until I see if there's anything weird from the next starting lineup, but I don't think there will be. I think it's gonna be the standard.
Well, let's hear. I want to hear what if maybe Burke starts anyway.
He hasn't been in this same spot, but maybe. Like he was like getting like, I don't know, not out of the. He was just getting like those low to mid 20s minutes, and that was even when some guys were gone. I do think he's an interesting tournament play now. I mean, he's going to be like I'm telling you, 0.5% owned, and he was going to be 60% owned.
No, we're not playing Looney. We're not playing Iguodala. Well, I'm not playing Iguodala. Not playing Lyles.
Like I think Looney's fine. It's just he's going to be popular.
I know. Not going to play Burks. FanDuel. Now let's see what this looks like. Get rid of all that. So maybe Fournier is the best of all of them, if anything.
I mean, I don't know about the best. It's just a low-owned play that you could argue can always shoot his way into a game against a team that gives up threes. But I'd rather play Clay than him. I do think I ended up with a Fournier lineup on FanDuel, though. He's a little cheaper over there in relation to Clay.
He is.
I'm going to play Killian Hayes, though, on FanDuel, I think. I'm pretty sure my main lineup will have Killian Hayes.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't mind that.
Yeah, I think it's Very reasonable. It also allows you to get that different build, which is so important on these 2-game slates. You should be thinking about building wise, how are people going to treat this? And well, although he might get more ownership now because Burks was going to be like a lock for people. And now they're going to switch over to Beverly, even though they were going to play some of them anyway.
What'd you say?
I'm just trying to figure out what people are going to do.
Oh, okay.
Because I think they're going to switch over to Beverly on FanDuel. And he was going to be owned, like I said, anyway, but I don't think he was going to be owned as high as he will be now. Because Burks was going to be like a near lock over there for people, I think. Let me update my FanDuel projections here.
Let me just see what I have here. So there's this. So we're going to go none of him, none of him. And then
Burks is still starting, says Sensei J, and he's pretty good at this stuff. So let's see what they did. Did they take Fournier out of the starting lineup? I don't have Burks as starting. I have the starting lineup here, and it says Kemba, Fournier, Barrett, Randall, Robinson. So Sensei J, where'd you get that info from, bro? I'd love to double check that one because that's kind of important. I don't like Burks as much if he starts anyway, except for the minutes are more secure. Because I have actually a starting lineup from them from NBA.com, and it doesn't have a minute.
does it have
RotoWire has it in, but NBA
it has Kemba though?
has Kemba. Has Kemba, Fournier, Barrett, Randall, Robinson. But I've seen these be wrong before. So we'll have time to adjust whatever we will find out the official starting lineup, obviously. And I will be in Discord. Okay, yes. Burks is not starting. No. Sensei J. So Sensei J and Brian are actually using the same site, and they're saying different things here. We need to figure that one out.
All right. Well, I'm gonna run. I got rid of all of them. I got rid of all those Knicks guards. I got rid of Lyles. I got rid of Looney. Got rid of Iguodala, and then let it roll. So we'll see what happens.
All right. Well, Sheets, congratulations on your win tonight. I can tell with how you feel about this slate.
No problem.
Good luck to everybody out there, and I'll be in Discord. Take care.